Hello, everyone. Welcome to Co-Design Incubator. Very happy to have a significant jump of enrollment just in span of 3 days. We have another 20 new enrollment for this course. My name is Gennaro, and I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodian of the land and to pay respect for the elders from the past, present, and future, and to extend this respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Island people. Need to turn off my watch here. That Again, this is a very unique course where we focus our learning based on projects and existing real-life crises. And we choose the themes that we want to contribute. And the key here is to focus on one of these crises. You know, a lot of crises now, not just environmental, but also social crisis. Right? And in this trimester, we focus on sustainability effort in environmental context at the universities context. Right? And the next part here, we focus on the social aspect of the crisis. Well, we have many to choose from. We have the war in Gaza, you have inequality, you have poverty. But in this trimester, we focus on the trend of need, increasing need from all around the world. So again, based on these themes, we choose the industry partners we want to work together with, and then and keeping in mind that all of these crises, some scholars name this or label this crisis as wicked problems. Now, we'll discuss about wicked problems in our third meetings, and basically, some scholars say these are problems that are impossible to solve. Now, keeping in mind, those scholars are also humans like us. Therefore, their arguments might be flawed. So, I myself don't even believe there's such thing as impossible problems. We all need to collaborate together. That's the key to solving wicked problems. And that's why we brought these projects into this course. I'm just going to share my screen. And as you know, this is a very unique cohort. We have the Open University, we have the last year undergrad students, and also postgraduate students, where you need to work with a group here to approach the problems. Therefore, it is recommended for you, especially if you're at the postgraduate level, because the marking rubric is going to be different, to choose between postgraduate members to form a group there. So if you're bachelor undergrads, then stick to the undergrads peers. If you postgraduate, please, when you introduce yourself, we already created a channel for you to find a group member. Just state that I'm in the postgrad, I'm in the undergrad, because the marking rubric going to be different and the task is going to be a bit different as well. Obviously, at the postgraduate is going to be more challenging. Again, a bit about me. I will focus more. I will explore more about introducing myself later during our session next week, which is in the Gold Coast next week. And my vision and academic vision is basically to develop ethics and empathy to everyone here. So I see everyone as my friends, as a collaborator, for us to work on this impossible mission, they say, right? To collaborate to solve and contribute to alleviate this crisis. And for me, it's all about developing ethics and empathy. I think all of the crises in the world happen because the world leaders, they are having deficit in these two dimensions here, ethics and empathy. Well, we still have 6 more meetings to go with, and be happy to explore more about why is that so and why ethics and empathy. But aside from this course, I also the primary convener for 5 other MBA courses. So you can see here, my main focus in teaching, my teaching expertise is on the area of management, marketing, and also political economy. But I left political economy not too long ago, still following the news, but I'm focusing more on the sustainable behavior now. You can see here politics of the global economy, leadership, strategy for purpose, basically strategic management, sustainability and system thinking. All of these are MBA courses. So if you are doing MBA, perhaps you'll see me again. Won't be long for you to see me again. Other than that, I'm also a member of the editorial review board at these A-grade journals, Marketing Intelligence and Planning, and Journal of Vacation Marketing, basically sustainable tourism for this journal here. I'm also a research fellow at the Griffith Institute, and I'm from Indonesia, so I've seen contrasts from developing nations, and I've been here in Australia for 16 years now. But more details about that is gonna be during the workshop later, right? Because we have 20 more minutes until our industry client coming in. This is my teaching philosophy. It's about coaching leadership. It's about enabling you. It's about help. I will be helping you understanding about yourself for this self-discovery journey, and unleashing your potentials, and also understanding yourself better about your limitation, how to turn this into opportunity. So basically, I use empathy for emotional energy to tap on, to engage with everyone here. I used to be international student as well. I know how hard it is, having to work and then having a new environment. And basically, for me, it's all about communications. Right? If you have any issue, just reach out to me. You'll find me as one of the most responsive convener. And then in my course, the workshop will be active. So you're not going to be there listening to me the whole time. No, I'm going to have to ask you a lot of questions. So there's going to be a lot of triggering questions. And I expect everyone here to also participate in the discussions. Right. So it's going to be interactive, very interactive workshops. And this philosophy here, I've got 5 rewards at least, right? Teaching excellence for 2 consecutive years, including outstanding contributions to student learning and Dean teaching commendations. This is quite outdated here for the student evaluation results. Instead, I downloaded from my past record here. And as you can see here, from the course that I convened in the past, it's all this right here, right? Well, of course, there are a few setbacks here, but let's focus about that during the workshop, right? So everything is, this is from the T1, the co-design incubator, 5.0, 4.0, 4.7, 4.8, right? A bit unhappy about the online, completely understand, right? SET, this is evaluation on me, on my teaching approach. As you can see here, there's a lot of 5 there out of 5, and mostly beyond 4, right? So this is again my evidence to you. I'm not giving you a sweet talk or promise you about this, right? But I'm here for everyone, right? So if you have any issues, a lot of students went to my office, talk with me. This Some discuss about the assignment, but most of them end up discussing about their personal challenges. Some even discuss about, oh my god, about their love life, and then suddenly I become a love doctor, right? So but that's all right? If I can alleviate your burden, right, I can be your friends. I think that's an honor for me, because that means you trust me. And for us to to work to solve this global crisis, it's about this trust here. It's about collaborations. So that's my vision and mission here. And I bet you not many conveners have shown their previous track record to everyone, right? I don't know, perhaps some of them might be, but there you go. This is my track record in the past, right? Um, Other than that, yes, I'm from Indonesia. I'm doing a lot of sports. I used to be an e-sport athlete playing Dota, and I'm millennial. But yeah, more about me gonna be during the workshop. Okay. Other than that, I will show you a bit about housekeeping. So this is the course schedule. If you go to our Teams channel, right? It's just here. There you go. You can find the schedules here, just for your convenience, right? So take a look at the schedules here, and make sure you know that the workshop happens fortnightly. Next week we will start with the Gold Coast cohort here at this location and at this time, right? So no session on the Nathan and online next week. Instead, on the week after, there's gonna be another session for online and Nathan cohort. Right. So keep this in mind. Make sure you put this on your schedule and you understand how it works. Oh, look at that. Who? Oh my God! Someone's using the wrong link. You joined the. Someone can help me tell them or something, because I I only have another 20 minutes, right? And then this is a channel where you need to you can post about. We can see Mariana already tell about herself. So use this channel for you to find a group member, right? How to access recordings? Just go to this channel here and click the file note, and then you can see a recording there. All right, and then at the end of week 3 or week 2, I will create another channel. When you have finalized your group members, post it in there so you can put in the system. Keep in mind about the and again, in total, you will have 7 sessions, including this one here, introduction session. And we call it session 1, right? Next week, starting next week, and week 2 and week 3, session 1. Right? It's all about how to identify organizational needs, right? Assuming you're gonna start your own role later, whether it's a full-time, permanent, or internship, sometimes they challenge you. Help us find what's wrong with our organizations. And if you don't know what to do in that stage, you're going to be in trouble, right? Big chance they might even, I don't think we can rely on him or her here. Probably we can't give them a permanent position or something about that. So this session is all about that, right? And then session 2 is between week 4 and week 5. There's a midterm vacation in there, so there's a gap here. That's why I only put two calendar invitation for us, because I will create another one for us to join later after the student vacation. And session 2 is about problem solving paradigms. In this part here, in between this week 4 and 5, we will my staff, my tutor here, will help you organize a meeting with the industry mentors. Yes, you'll be connected with industry mentors. Some of them have extensive experience, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. They are the expert. It's a good chance for you to expand your networks. Again, after all, getting jobs is all about social capital, isn't it? And about information and how you can fit in the company needs, right? So here, you are being expected to get the feedback. So it's going to be online. Perhaps we may be able to, if you want to meet them directly, perhaps we may be able to facilitate that depending on the availability of the mentors. And yeah, my tutor will help with that. And then session 3, you will have a meeting with the industry clients again, just to help, just for you to get another feedback from them, right? So keep in mind, this is industry mentors, and this is the industry clients, the one that's gonna come later at 12:30. Right. The first presentation gonna be from Paul Bailey, Logan City Council. That's our industry client to help us understand and solve the problem of needs, right? And then the second part is the Griffith Sustainability. We got 2 representatives. First, Margaret, Environmental Sustainability Officer, and also Karen Defeni, who is also the manager for the sustainability program, right? So today they will present us about the problems, and in between this week they will gonna come again, just to talk with us, just for you to get feedback. What is your plan and how can that be improved, right? And then in week 8 there's gonna be the deadline for your first assessment. So nothing happened here except the deadline, and we're gonna discuss about leadership and change management. Right? The final session here, that's on the between week 10 and week 11. So we're gonna have the industry clients again coming just for us to do a co-design activities, right? So that's the last moment for you to finalize your proposal and also your intervention or your programs or whatever related to the problem solving activities. And finally, week 12, all sessions will be held online on this date here. All enrollment to join, we have a guest speaker, most likely from the industry mentoring program group. So perhaps the coordinator, Brida Crowley, will come again and to discuss about industry mentoring program and such. So this is what's going to happen in the next 12 weeks. only 7 meetings so far, including the introduction session and also the course closing. Any question? I'm aware I'm a bit too fast here. I'm just aware with the time. Today is the class where we find out what our project options are. Yes, definitely. We select from what different. Definitely. Thank you, Musawashe. All right. As I mentioned before, the first presenter gonna be Paul Bailey from Logan City Council. It's about NEET, reducing NEET, and the second industry client gonna be Griffith Sustainability. Right. Thank you, Lysis. Is that hope I pronounce your name correctly there? All right. Any question?
Yes, sir. No, sir.
Okay. I thought you have a question, but yeah. Thank you, Lysis. Okay.
Hi.
Yes. Who is this?
Yeah. Yeah. I have a question. Like, it's not
Yeah.
basically a question, but like you have in the announcement section, you have given like 2 topics for the discussion part, this
Yeah.
group. So, like, do we have to choose from that, or do we have to find our own gap in like
Oh, you choose between those
this?
two projects. So what happened, as I
Okay.
mentioned before, Kushbu, I hope that's I pronounce you right?
Yes, yes.
The industry clients will come in 15 minutes. The first is Logan City Council. They're gonna present. They're gonna talk about us. They're gonna talk with us about NEET, right? So
Okay.
if you see the graphic here, NEET all around the world is increasing. Right, and
Okay.
to clarify, NEET is when people are not engaged in any education, any training, or any employment. So they spend their life doing nothing. Now, there's a lot
Okay.
of negative implications, such as juvenile criminals, right? Criminal rates going up, and a lot of things you don't want to hear. And your task here is, and me and Paul, we're gonna have a dialogue about NEET, right? And then the second part, after 45 minutes, we're gonna have our second topic coming in, our second speaker coming in, which is the Griffith Sustainability. We're gonna discuss environmental sustainability in university context, right? Now, many people when they mention about sustainability, what's in their mind is environmental activities. They're wrong. It's about people as well. It's about social parts of the world, right? We got environment, we got social, right? And we got ethics now, good governance, right? ESG now. So, right. Not many people know the situation that we are in, right? Especially facing this climate crisis. At the moment, we are already exceeding the barrier, the benchmark of global warming. We have increased 1.5 degrees Celsius of temperature. Well, it's getting warmer. It's getting hot. Yes, if we're not doing anything, 80 years from now, which is the 21st century, right, the global warming gonna reach 4 degrees Celsius, which means, right, are we gonna still exist at that time or not? I can tell you during next week in our meeting what's gonna happen. By now, 1.5 degrees of increase. These problems, many problems, extreme weather, ocean acidification, coral bleaching, and then biodiversity decline, you name it. I'll discuss about it in our next meeting. But the situation here, I'm not trying to scare everyone. A lot of research here is grave, right? Especially if we don't do something with environmental attempts here. If you notice, it doesn't rain as much as it used to, or not as many bugs flying around. That's one of the concern, Musawashe. Thank you very much. Thank you for raising that. And if you're from China, I'm sure not too long ago you experienced perhaps your first bushfire, right? And wow, wait for next week, okay? Thank you, Kushbu. Otherwise, I end up spending all of these problems, and we gonna miss the next discussion, which is I'm gonna take a peek about our assessment. Right. Okay, I'm just aware about the time here. 10 more minutes. So the first one here is basically circle around theory of change. So if you look in the module 1, right now, I'm sure some of you who was in this course but didn't continue last trimester, you can see the courses is very different now, of course, right? So if you look in module 1, you will notice about you will look about the application of theory of change, right? It's basically circled around understanding root cause analysis. Understanding the root cause of a problem, right? If you watching Naruto, right? Kakashi said, seeing the beneath of beneath, right? Oh, sorry, I'm millennial, so I can't be helped, right? But yeah, that's root cause analysis, right? So you need to understand what's really happening, what's really the cause of everything, all these problems, right? Here, marking criteria is very clear here. You start from the root cause analysis and then develop. After that, you mention about the relevant dimension of pastel, right? What dimension are relevant? You don't need to conduct a full pastel analysis. It gets boring, Just raise what's important. What are the most relevant part that you want to hit? Right? Is it from the economy part? Is it from the social part? Is it from the governance part? Whatever it is. Remember, pastel is not limited to only these 5 dimensions. It keeps on growing. This is social science. So and the last thing I want here is to be strict to anything. As long as you can justify your arguments, right? You want to hit pastel G is governance, or pastel B is brand, whatever it is, it's up to you. Okay. As long as you can identify the relevant dimensions. So, and then initial solution development, very straightforward here. Feedback analysis. This is the part when you are having a meeting with the mentors and perhaps the industry clients, but the feedback from the mentor is the must. You must record that either in the paper or just on the recording when you are meeting with them later, right? And then you need to analyze their feedback. And then hopefully you can expand from their feedback. Whether you want to take the feedback on board, or to reject their feedback, it's up to you. But you need to be able to expand from their feedback and then apply that back to your proposed solutions, right? Paper is well structured with good academic flow and such. This is the recommended structure. Again, recommended structure. Feel free to come up with your own structure, but ideally we want to see how you respond to this marking rubric here. At the end of the report, make sure you address the role of each team members and then the percentage of their contributions. Now, in the past, every group activities, there's always drama, right? So make sure when you first meet with your group members, you come up with a commitment. This is the do's and this is the don'ts. And if you decide to be a free rider, we're gonna ditch you. Yeah, you can do that, right? Make sure you be able to solve that, right? This is simulation. Well, some of you, I assume, at your final year of the undergrads, when you work with a team there, there's no free riders because they lose their position quickly, right? So make sure here you know how to respond to these issues, those free riders, I mean, right? And if things go south really quick or involving a lot of arguments and you think I need to know, please don't hesitate. But if it's only a petty drama, I don't need to know. I can just watch Netflix for that. Okay. Yeah, just kidding. Okay. All right. So that's the A1 for this. Yes, Lysis.
Oh, may I ask, where is your office located in, sir? Like which campus is on?
Oh, I'm actually at the Logan campus.
Ah,
So
great.
yeah.
Wait,
But
no, that's so far. Wait, that's okay.
yeah, I know. I'm the only GBS member in this environment. So very lonely here. But then again, no distraction. That's the beauty part, right? But then again, if you want to meet,
We'll try
I'm
to.
happy. We can have a coffee somewhere else, right? Thank you,
Okay,
Lysis.
thank you.
Or online meeting, that's should be fine, right? So that's A1. Remember, this is the words here. Don't go beyond this. Don't go with 20 pages of report, 25 pages. I had a long report. We don't, just be concise. Make sure you hit everything. You hit the core, and then you justify it, right? All of this part needs to be justified. And if you ask me, what's the minimum number of reference? As much as you can. I'm not the type to put a minimum number of references because students will end up doing research for the sake of the number of the articles instead of focusing on solving the problems. I hate that, right? I don't want that to happen. Same thing with the A2. This one is more straightforward. So 5-6 minutes. Please don't think that if you do 10 minutes, we're gonna give you more. No, we're gonna penalize you. So between 5 to 6 minutes and about extra 30 seconds extension, right? So make sure you come up with a hook point, very interesting opening. Don't go starting with, my name is Gunnar, yeah. Nah, it's boring, right? What if, make sure you come up with a question or something that's really a powerful opening that makes the people want to watch you even further, right? So this is the age of video, right? How many video you watch every day? Could be 20, 30, right? All of those reels, right? But if it's boring, you just skip it, right? So make sure you know how to hook people up here. Oh my God, that sounds awful. I mean, I mean to attract people interest, right? Yeah, whatever. Okay, right. And then problem statement, solutions, and then here you need to analyze what if things go south with your solutions. Potential resistance, which is going to be covered in the leadership module, right? Plus closing. Put a reference list and spare 2 seconds just for us to be able to see you apply that reference. Don't forget the in-text references. My God, if I get $1 every time I mention this, so many of students forgot to put in-text references. So we don't know in the end where did they put the reference, right? And make sure you utilize AI very well, but don't rely to them too much, right? In the past, I found some students using AI to cover their own voice fail, right? Don't waste your money for what you think can get a shortcut to distinction now. You can see here, if you're enrolled in the postgraduate course, you're gonna have another 2 minutes extra allocation, right? Because you need to address the long-term impact for your problems, and that's not gonna be easy, right? Long-term impact used to be 10 years, but these days things are moving faster, and we can say 3 year is the long term already. 3 or 4 or 5 years. Well, relative, but yeah. So we don't need for you to submit the whole video. Just give us the link, right? In YouTube or whatever, and then here I put a note there. And on the submission notes, include the team roles and contributions. If your contribution is only 50%, I will approach you and ask what's happening. You're only being marked 50% by your friends, by your peers, and this will affect your marks, your full marks, right? So don't be like those people, right? Well, I've been here for quite a while. I've seen a lot of drama happening in the group work here, right? And that's all about it. Video presentation in the end. We're hoping that we can give our industry clients the link so they can also, all right, hey, this is a good idea. This is something that we can apply and such, right? Remember that the whole purpose about this course is for us to contribute to LFE at this global crisis, right? And yes, Mariana, thank you.
So I just have a quick question for the video presentation. Is one person presenting from the group, or would it be different people? So how would
Well,
that be allocated?
well, I really that's a really good question, Mariana. But I hope that everyone can join, right? Well, if you think that you only need 3 or 4 people, just put the notes on the submission, right? But I really hope you just not relying on one person, right? I hope that clear,
Yeah,
Mariana.
yeah.
Thank you.
I was just asking, like if the person is considered to be the team leader, if other group members allocated that person to present, then would marks be deducted? I'm not sure how that would work.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
not that way. If all of the group members agree, only 2 or 3 people, because probably some of your group member already done a lot of research, so that can be worked out, right? Just make sure you communicate with us. That's it. Okay,
Yeah.
Mariana.
Yeah, and I
Thank
also
you.
have another question. So
Yep.
for the topic selection, is there a page on Canvas or somewhere else that we can choose which topic we're doing? That way, like for our
At the
groups.
moment, the focus are those two. That's why we invite our industry clients, so that, to allow you to get feedback, right, and to reinforce and improve your solutions. Is that clear?
Yeah, no, I'm just asking like for like the topic selection, is there a page that we can choose like which topic that we want just to like have it in records which topic we'll be doing?
As long as it falls under our 2 main themes, NEET, reducing NEET, and also the other one, is environmental sustainability in the university context, that's fine. But if you think you're gonna be deriving a bit from the main topics, you need to contact me, right?
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Marianne. I know there's a channel to form the group, but it's possible for you to publish the list of people on the course site, which will show the campus they are based on. This can be easier to find the group. I can see the people list on that course. Thank you. Now that's why I spare between the session 1 here, between between this period here, right? Week 2 and week 3. So that's when we can meet all together here, and that's the chance for you to spot which person can fit well with your group there. So my suggestion here: make sure you come next week in particular, right, to spot all of these people, right? And if you still can't find it, that group is actually meant for people that haven't able to find a group, right? And that's why I put a notice at the end of week 3 here. If you still are not able to find a group, let me know, right, Fong? I hope that makes sense. Okay. All right. It's 12:31 already.
Can you repeat that part, please? I didn't get any of that, mate. How do I start? What do I have to do again?
Paul, how are you, Paul?
Always good here, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, good. Thanks. Are you? Oh, Paul is already here. All right. I'm gonna stop sharing now. Are you? Is there any way we can see you, Paul? With your camera or anything? There you go, everyone. Paul is here. Very good to have you, Paul. And everyone, I would like to introduce you to Paul Bailey here, Employment Coordinator at the Logan City Council. He's been he has 15 years of experience in the area. Would you say that you are like Jiraya? Okay. Hey, Muhammad. Sorry, Paul. Yeah. So I got distracted by one of the students here discussing about anime and manga, right? So yeah, but then again, I'll get to you after that, Muhammad. But yeah, here I would like to come back to Paul Bailey here, our industry client, and I met Paul in person a couple of weeks back. Very passionate person, has a lot of dedication to empower our young generations, right? So I think that's a bit of quick introduction to Paul Bailey, right? Say hi to Paul, everyone. And yes, Paul, thank you very much for coming and for you willing to guide us to be able to look at this issue about how to reduce the number of NEET, right? And as we know that, and I'm repeating myself here, the graphic of NEET all around the world is increasing, right? And then now I'll let you take a guess and do your own research in Australian context. But in many countries like Japan, Indonesia, and mainly in East Asia, the number is going up, right? But then and it's posing us with a big problem, Paul. So shall we start with the first question? Or Paul, you wanna introduce yourself further? I say.
So yeah, I'm as said, my name is Paul Bailey. Work for Logan City Council. I suppose I work for the economic development team. So I work with professionals that attract people into Logan City Council. They work with small businesses, with established businesses, with attracting other businesses into the area. The whole objective here is to, if businesses are doing well, the state of the economy is doing very well in Logan. So my main role there is to be able to help businesses with their workforce requirements. And in doing so, that helps me build different pathways from schools, from Workforce Australia, Parents Next, all different areas to be able to point them in the direction of skill shortages and directions of businesses in need of workforce.
Thank you very much, Paul. I think I will start with the first question here. So Paul, you've been in the industry for a long time, and let's ask you with the first question: what drives the increase on the number of NEET here, and in Australian context, perhaps?
In the Australian context, you mean?
Yeah, in Australian context or in Logan. Yes, I think that's what we're going to discuss here.
Okay, so businesses need staff. Businesses need workforce. So to be able to attract workforce, they have to be working in different sorts of ways. They have to be able to work flexible with youth. They have to be able to work with the unemployment that is around at the moment. As you know, it's all over the news. We're at our lowest unemployment rate almost in history. So the businesses, when they're getting staff coming on from what's called Workforce Australia, which is the unemployment benefits program. If you're not working, you're on unemployment benefits. You're on the workforce program. So attracting from that cohort at the moment with the skill shortage the way that it is, and the unemployment being so low, the people that they're getting out of the caseloads may have higher requirements for support. So I suppose businesses working in with the available workforce that's currently looking for opportunities.
All right, thank you very much. You mentioned about higher requirements for the people, and I think this is the case of looking for jobs now. Company requires a high level of requirements, but then again, they're not being given chance to participate in the workforce. Do you have anything to say about this?
So businesses, if I was to get 3 businesses online now and ask them what they want from a staff member, the majority of the businesses will say that they want attitude and attendance. So when it comes to skills, a majority of the businesses are happy to teach the skill. Of course, not to tradespeople. They should be bringing a certain level of experience into that sort of, in the same as a truck driver. They must have a truck driving license, etc. But for your entry level positions, all they want is attitude and attendance. They want the people to turn up and bring a good attitude to be able to work with the other team members within that workforce area.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much. What do you see is the most grave factor on the cause of NEET, aside from these high requirements? Are there anything that we need to address from the generational issue, from the parents or from the family, and on the social environment?
Now, remember, what I'm saying is coming from my point of view only. So this is not documented or anything else like that, okay? So if anybody out there is looking this stuff up, it's only coming out of Paul Bailey's brain, all right? So a lot of the parents that I'm talking with, if there's a bricklaying job, they won't be encouraging their kids to take that on because it's heavy, it's hot, you're working outside, you're constantly moving. And other jobs, to be a plumber, you know, where you got to put your hands, and they'll discourage their kids. Not all, but a lot of them will discourage their kids from doing certain jobs without giving the opportunity to get out there and have a crack. And there's other ones. There's quite with the young people who are on a disability. It's getting the parents to encourage their kids to talk for themselves is very important. So as they build up that confidence as well. And there's lots of programs out there to be able to support those people to be able to pick that confidence up.
All right, thank you very much. There's a lot of programs to support the people to pick up those confidence. So, but then again, we see a gap here. So we can see here the parents actually discourage them. Hey, don't do that. Why don't you do the other parts? So you can see the role of parents and family is very important here. And they might, instead of alleviating the issue, they might exacerbate the issue, right? They might even make the issue worse, right? So are they, what do we say about, in terms of demography of NEET, do you see more from the young generations or from the older generations?
Again, that really comes down to different areas as well. So, you know, you go from one school to another, and the conversation you have is to the grade 12s, what are you doing next year? And you might go from one school where they're saying, I don't know what I'm going to do next year. I don't know what I'm going to do next year. Then move into the next careers session at another school where they just really have a good handle on what they want to do. Whether it's professional, whatever it is, blue collar, white collar, they know what they want to do. So it really comes down to different locations and that education around that as well. So we're running a schools to work program at the moment, and my colleague's working very hard on being able to get young people in front of as many industries as she can to be able to give these kids the understanding of what they're going to get themselves into. Because you find a lot of young people get into what they think is going to be their dream job. They start in there and go, this is not what I signed up for. For example, a young lady or young man wants to be a hairdresser. It's all I want to do. But then when they get into their first year and their second year of their apprenticeship, there's no cutting hair. It's sweeping floors, it's making coffees, it's having conversation, it's answering phones. There's no cutting hair in it. But who explained that to them before they went into that?
Okay, thank you very much, Paul. We can see a lot of, this is the nature of complex problems. There's a lot of dimensions to touch in here. We discuss about the parents, we also discuss about the employees not fulfilling the expectations of these young people, right? All of these employers, of these job seekers, right? But then again, there's another part here, which is the mindset, right, of those that probably disappointed with the jobs, right? And then they given up. I think I'm just gonna go back to my are you there? Oh, sorry. I'm just gonna go back to my unemployment benefit or such. So in terms of this mindset, what can we do to influence them and to light this fire up again?
Well, the question is, if they do go back to the unemployment benefits, what is the downturn to that? A lot of people learn to live on that amount of money. So they'll be happy to live on 2-minute noodles and share a house with multiple people, so the rent is much cheaper, and not have a car and license and just walk around wherever they want to go. So they can adapt. People can adapt their lifestyles very easy. So what's the answer to that?
Okay, thank you very much, Paul.
And other things as well, like there's some cases where there'll be a family of unemployed people, and and they'll generally pool their money. And if one wants to get out and get a job, they could be discouraged because they're taking money out of that pool of money. So they could be dragged back down into the unemployment world again.
Oh, just thank you, Paul. Just listening to that gave me a heartache, because it's every parent's dream to have their kids work. But then again, here the parents actually discourage the kids or anyone here. Hey, don't go working for jobs, otherwise our benefit going to be decreased. So that's
it's the pool.
Plus,
it's the pool of money from that family.
It drives the people mindset as well. But you can see here there's a policy issue as well, right? What has been done in the past and to counter this pool of money issue or this mindset issues, Paul, and how was it not affected?
So work for the dole was a big one that was brought in earlier on. So when you've been on unemployment benefits, you would go on to work for the dole, and if you didn't participate in work for the dole, you would lose your benefits. So that was a big one that was brought in. It's just not as the compliance around it doesn't seem to be as potent as it used to be, from what I'm seeing. Again, that's just from what I'm seeing. Okay, so if people don't participate, what's the outcome of that now? It doesn't seem as as strict as the old policy used to be. So work for the dole, a lot of people go, I don't want to go and do work for the dole, but what that did is that got people into routine. It got them out of the house. It got them into a network. It put them in front of potential employers. You know, there's a lot of upsides to work for the dole.
All right. Thank you. Would you be able to share us some of your experience or stories that you find the most challenging part of dealing with NEET?
There's lots of different ones, okay, and I run job expos and engagement events to try and counteract all of these. So if you look at your major skill needs, so construction and manufacturing is construction is a huge need. Manufacturing is another one, big need there. Health, and the other one is education. So what we try and do to overcome that need is to try and bring events together where we can bring businesses that have these opportunities into a room and encourage job seekers and youth alike to come in and talk to the businesses and be able to get real insights into what the industry is about. So that's ways that we try and tackle it. Again, people can make up excuses very quickly why they're not going to go to work.
So again, that's a mindset issues, isn't it? And
yes,
would you be agree to say that the policy needs to be adjusted here? And this is the tricky part here when we decide about policy, to drive the mindset of the people. Is that something that needs to be put in the agenda? If
the mindset was I have to go to work, or there's going to be a consequence put on me that I don't want to happen, that could be one of the mindsets. The other one could be I want to go to work because I'm enjoying what I'm doing. So,
yeah.
Okay, there's different bait for different fish, mate.
Okay, nice. And that's really summing up from a well-experienced expert in the area. Different bait for different fish. Okay, everyone, I would like to invite you as well to this dialogue here. So this is not just between me and Paul, but between us with Paul, right? All of us sharing these issues, and you can see the higher number of NEET will lead to a lot of issues, basically economy in particular, but also social in terms of crimes and such and such. We got a question from Muhammad Shahir, please.
Hey, Mike. So the project that you'll be working on throughout this course, is there any specific tab on the canvas where we can access these drafts that we can read out what is the project actually is?
Oh, thank you, Muhammad. We don't provide that. It's your task to do the research, right, about NEET in Australia or in Queensland, if you want to narrow it down to Queensland. As long as your topic is aligned with reducing the number of NEET, that should be the purpose of this assignment. That clear, Muhammad?
Good. Thank you.
Thank you. Musawashe, please.
Hello, Paul. So I noticed you mentioned school kids a lot. Is that the demographic where this issue is most present, or is there more that can let us know what demographic is being affected the most? Thank you.
You're welcome. So we look at this on multiple levels, okay? And to get your biggest bang for your buck. So basically what I'm saying there is to be able to get your biggest impact on your unemployment rate. If we can get kids, young people, our youth, straight out of school into a job where they understand, so as we can get them in there and be a sustainable outcome, we can impact so many lives, and the percentages change very rapidly from this. As where if you've got someone who has been on unemployment benefits for a long time, they're entrenched in their own ways. There is programs out there for these people. It's called Skilling Queenslanders for Work. initials, that is SQW, where that's all about wrapping support around that person and be able to get them back into work and their family and their mental health and their physical health and everything else. But if we can get them from school into employment straight away and into something that they understand where they're going into, so it's more sustainable, we can make a huge impact in with quarter the resources.
Do you have anything to say, Musawashe, or to follow up question?
No, that was very helpful. Thank you. If I have
Thank
more
you,
questions,
Musawashe.
I'll ask. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you very much. And so which one first, Lysis or Michael? Oh, Lysis, yep.
Hi. So I just want to wait. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, that's good. I just want to clarify a few things. So first off, this project is almost like a research project where you kind of give us the topics and we find our own
Yeah.
research question, right? This is too narrow. Yeah. So second, we will be able to reach out to Paul anytime we need. Is that part of the whole thing, or is this the only time where we can ask Paul questions?
If you get some questions together for me to answer, then let me know and I'll see if I can organise an afternoon where we can catch up and answer some questions. You
Yeah.
can organise that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will you have like a kind of email for contacts or those kind of things?
Oh, that's gonna go through me.
So it goes through
Since-
Convenor.
Yeah. So we have another chance to meet with Paul in the middle of the trimester and at the end of the trimester. So we got 2 sessions. But if you think that, hey, Gennaro, I need to clarify this information or this data or this policy, is it possible to ask Paul about this? That's fine. Send it to me. And you get another session with industry mentors between week 1 to 3, 4, 5, 5, right? So a lot of feedback to get here from the experts, not just Paul, but also the industry mentors as well, and hoping that this will enrich you with the knowledge and to come up with perhaps this is something that we need to focus on, the policy, on the mindset. You can see a lot of themes coming up from what we discussed with Paul here. It's not just about, that my concern is that money pool, Paul, that you mentioned about this unemployment benefit stacking up, and if someone goes to work, that don't go to work because you're gonna have our benefit reduced, right? And that's a big concern for me, right? But everyone might have different. Oh my God, probably my concern is gonna be for these young people that giving up on their dream or any other reason. So I hope that makes sense, Lysis.
Of course, thank you. When we come up with
Thank you.
kind of like these kind of thing for our report, you say that we should come up with a kind of like suggestion for changes in policies and that kind of thing to help with the NEET things, right?
Yeah.
Should we are we supposed to really dig deep into it and like plan out a good detailed policy or law suggestion to propose up to the council or whatever, or are we just giving nudges, suggestions, as in like general nudges?
Thank you, Lysis.
Like I
So
said,
if
what
you follow
you have to remember is that Logan City Council aren't the dictators of policy around this. A lot of this comes from federal.
Oh, you muted, Paul.
Yeah, so a lot of this is at federal policy level.
Yeah, that's all right. So, Alexis, if you follow the theory of change prompt there, the framework, that's going to answer your questions, right? As long as you can identify the root cause analysis, the root cause of the problems, and then therefore you determine this is what we need to solve the issues, and this is the outcome that we're looking for, and this is the impact that we're aiming for, right? So for you to get a good understanding, I recommend you to look at the module 1 first. Does that make sense, Lysis? And then everyone?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That's all right. Thank you. All right, who's next? Is it Michael? Please, Michael.
Hi, Paul. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Hi
thank
there.
you.
I just have a question. You mentioned earlier regarding to a lot of the young people's that's unemployed is mostly got influenced by their families, and especially when the whole family is unemployed. So has there been any sort of like a strategies or anything that's maybe more tackled towards the family to change their mindset? Because a lot of the young children are influenced, they spend most of the time with their families. So they're looking at their parents as a role models, as they, how what they do think they copy from the parents. So have we do anything from the parents' perspective, like maybe from that generation, eventually maybe can help a little bit to use to bold their dreams and then maybe just pursue their careers?
Think
Yeah,
you
that's
might be
my
onto
question.
something there, Michael. Think you might be onto something there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because so at the school level, they have careers days where they invite the parents in to talk to the exhibitors as well. But we end up packing up early and going home because none of them come in.
Oh gosh.
Okay. The events that
okay.
we have running, very few parents come around with their kids.
I'm just thinking, obviously, using forcing people to come in, it won't really work. So instead, we, however, need to work with the parents, perhaps providing benefits in the way of attracting the parents to let them see the rewards from this, allowing them to participate more. Although this can be a lengthy process and can be challenging along the way, and it have to be thought out more, more organized in a way. But this just my initial thought about it. Yeah.
Can I give you an example around this, Michael?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at one of our jobs expos, which is in September, there was a father turned up with his son to the expo. As he was walking around, I went over and I had a chat with them. I tried to have a talk with them. They sort of wanted to walk around me like I wasn't there. And I just looked at the young person who I could see was unemployed. I said, "Not working at the moment, mate." He goes, "No." And he laughed and his father laughed at the same time. Ha ha ha. "No, I'm not at the moment." So I said to the young bloke, so you're on your dad's lounge at the moment through the day. The dad's facial expression changed. I said, "You're mooching off mum and dad. You're not working, so they're paying for everything you're doing, aren't they?" The father's face changed again when the realization started to set in. I said, "Do you know there's jobs in here, mate, that just get you working, whether it's what you want to be doing or not want to be doing. You can actually be earning money and taking this burden away from your mum and dad."
Yeah.
That was a real conversation I had to have with a young person who left at the end of grade 12, and that was in September of the next year.
Okay.
And can you see how the parent was reacting around that? It was all funny till he realized and was reminded.
I see.
Well,
Okay.
that's
Thank
a
you,
good
Paul.
start. Yeah, thank you, Paul. That's a good start, Michael. Some kind of incentive to the parents, or perhaps a punishment. Oh, I don't know. Australia is not. It's not really good. It's not really aligned with the term punishment, right? So, nah. Well,
Different bait.
I can be wrong. Yeah,
Different
bait.
bait.
Yeah, I like that. Bait. Different fish, different bait, like Paul said. Right. Thank you very much, Michael. That's really good. Something you can even develop even further. So that's why we only the workshop is only fortnightly here. So you have more time to discuss with your team here about how to plan with the project, right? Okay. So I got Muhammad Ahmed Chaudhary. Don't discuss about Naruto, remember, right? Please, Muhammad.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes, thank you, Muhammad.
So my question was to Paul. So in your opinion, like if we had two approaches to look at this problem, one being to encourage people themselves to actively look for jobs, and second being to maintain stricter checks on people who to ensure that if they're receiving unemployment benefits, that they're actually taking jobs at the time they're getting the benefits. Which one of these approaches do you think would be more costly for the government, and which one do you think would at the end of the day get better results in terms of getting more people off from the unemployment benefits and into the job industry?
Look, attraction is always better than a smack on the wrist. attraction, getting somebody into a job that they enjoy doing and putting the right sort of strategy around that person to get into work is the best approach, in my opinion. But those that don't want to go to work and do whatever they can to avoid it, they're the ones that need that compliance put on them, if that makes sense. So there's not one strategy that's going to fix this. Because we have long-term employed, the majority of the people in our caseload, meaning unemployed caseload, are long-term unemployed, which is 5 years and plus of unemployment. Long-term is 12 months, long-term is 5 years plus. Now, these people that are 5 years plus are not physically fit enough to go and put in a day's work manually, doing any sort of manual work. They're not engaged enough to be able to do that. So that's where Skilling Queenslanders for Work, so the state government has put in an approach to that to be able to wrap around them and help them get off. And there's been some really good results with that. But then the people that don't want to participate in that, that's when that other compliance has to come in my opinion only.
Okay. Thanks very much, Paul. Yeah, Mohammed?
Thank you. Yes, sorry.
Yeah, any more question?
Yes, just a quick follow-up. Like, do you think that the government at this current time has enough data to like devise a hybrid system between the two, like so they can basically categorize people into two categories, for ones which can be like encouraged to work, and for the ones which needs to be have
No.
like stricter checks and balance?
No, the data that they have is how long you've been unemployed. They've got other data around it, but the majority of the data is about how long you've been unemployed.
Okay. That's good, Mohammed. That's
if
fine.
there's been compliance put on you, they'll have evidence of that because your workforce provider will be putting compliance notes in around that in CRM sort of processes. So that could add to that data if needed, I suppose.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
thank you.
Thank you. Now I'm aware of the time here because 1:15 is the second session. So
Two more.
I'm just gonna go quickly. Yeah, two more. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mohammed and everyone. Aiden, please.
Hey, can you hear me all right?
Yep. Thank you, Aiden.
I was wondering whether you see like a correlation between like stagnating economies who don't tend to grow much and the rise in NEET, because in my experience around COVID, when obviously there was not much economic growth at all, a lot of my friends who could get the job displacement benefits from COVID, like they rode that, and that was kind of like their, I had my dad who lost his job and wasn't eligible for it, who, has a mortgage and kids, who got nothing. And I had mates who were 17 getting $700 a fortnight, while working they used to work at KFC. So do you find that's a correlation at all?
Mate, that was a different time.
Yeah, of course.
Very different time then to what we're back into now. So they are unprecedented times. And I think you've just answered your own question on that one, my friend.
Yeah.
I see a big disconnect between those with mortgages and those that have got rental requirements as well. So if you go in for unemployment benefits and you're in a rental home, you will get rental assistance. But if you go in for unemployment benefits and you've got your mortgage, there's nothing for you.
And do you think that could also be a problem, seeing as it's really like unlikely for a lot of younger people to actually get into the property market and get onto that mortgage ladder and that career progression ladder? Do you find that's going to be a growing problem?
Hey, that's not an attitude to have, my friend. There's always ways around everything.
Well, I don't think me personally, I don't think it's going to be that difficult for me, but I do have friends who have checked out mentally. Like they're just it's not possible for them.
But it is possible. The wages have gone up considerably. I'll tell you stories, mate, back when I was paying 16, 17, 18% interest on a very small salary. I know it wasn't a huge mortgage, but that shifts at the same time. So, mate, I've got 3 kids, and they've all got houses. Okay, but the type of houses they start with to what they end up in later down the track, there's always entry level points into everything you do.
Cheers.
Thank you, Aiden. Thank you, Paul. All right, perhaps one more question, and then we can take a break for the second session. Musawasya, please.
Hi, Paul. This isn't really a question, it's more so a comment. Based on what you were saying about parents, the example you gave about the dad, it seems to be like a much overall larger issue because I know worldwide in some countries among school-aged children, there's literacy rates are
Yes,
quite low. And one
low.
thing that a lot of teachers, whether it's teachers in Australia, England, Canada, the US, are saying is the exact same thing. The parents, they don't show up, they don't do reading with their kids at home. It just seems to be overall parental disengagement in some groups. So it's just such a large issue.
It
Thanks.
sounds like you found your topic of need, my friend. While you're looking at that topic of need that you're looking for, also take into account that there's a lot of young people out there that are coming from a caring background that are moving shuffled from house to house. And unfortunately, because they're going from different schools all the time, they don't get that opportunity for numeracy and literacy skills. So by the time that they're turning 12 years of age, that's when they're making these really wrong decisions. So, I always say that if I had the money to be able to put a program in at a very young age, to be able to pick these kids up that you're talking about and help them from a very young age to be able to pick those building blocks up for education, I think it would have a lot of, it'd be a good way to fixing a lot of these problems.
Thank you.
See, okay, thank you very much. That's really a lot of good discussion that we are trying to find the root cause of the need here. And the rest is you can start your own research now and conduct and assess what will be the cause about this, and then where to start, which dimension. You realize in addressing a wicked problem or probably this one is complex problems, is there's a lot of different start point there. And there's a lot of different dimensions that you can assess to explore the problem even further and come up with the effective solutions. But then again, you got to remember, right? How do we come up with the unemployment benefit? It's there to solve poverty, the ultimate issue in the world. They say the
It
biggest
is a
evil is
stopgap.
poverty.
It is a
Yep.
stopgap, not a lifestyle.
But then again, thank you, Paul. But then again, when we try to solve this wicked problem, which is poverty, we end up creating other problems. That's the nature of wicked problem. See, you can see how this goes around and around again until. But then again, we need to do something, right? I'm not saying that. Oh, so that's what you're saying. We're not gonna do anything. No, we need to do something here. But then again, we can see how solutions lead to issues. But then again, where we want to head, right? And what kind of change do we want to drive? That's the main question that you want to answer. So please join us to join me to thank Paul Bailey here. Thank you very much, and everyone for your input. That's really awesome. Paul, I'll be in touch with you. Thank you very much for your time, and we can have a quick break after this, right? And we return at 1:15. Thank you very much, Paul. All right, let's take a quick break here, about 7 minutes, and we'll return with the second industry client, which is Griffith Sustainability. This one is about environmental sustainability. Okay, so get some cup of coffee there, 7 minutes, and let's return. Thank you. All right, 1:15, 7 minutes from now. Hey, all right. Just waiting for our Griffith Sustainability partner to come. Any comment from
Hey,
Sir? Yeah.
Gennaro.
Yep.
Do you know Erica by any chance?
Erica who?
I think we say her last name Isabel. Isabel. She's from the Philippines.
Erica, Philippine.
Yeah, she's a PhD student, but she teaches some GIR courses. And her area of study, like she on the side, she works for the United Nations and Amnesty and youth peacekeeping. So I was just wondering if you two knew each other.
I'm sorry, but yeah. So you said she's still doing PhD?
Yeah, PhD.
Okay. Erica. It doesn't ring a bell. My apologies.
That's all right. My second question was, I know you said you're very optimistic and no grand wicked or grand challenge is impossible in your eyes, but in the research that you do and in the teaching of this course, does it ever weigh on you? Because these are big problems.
It is. And the only way to solve is through collaborations. And if we are becoming more aware with this problem since young age, then there's still hope, right? Otherwise, what can we do? If we giving up with the climate crisis, then what's going to happen with the world? It's human extinction, right? And I'm not saying this to scare anyone. There's a lot of research showing the data about this, and it's not just about the environment, even on the social part as well. It's a grand challenge. It's a grand problem. And my vision as the convener of different 5 MBA courses is to make the undergrad students more aware in particular, and also those that just started the university and postgraduate to be aware about these problems, right? And to give you a new purpose in life. Hopefully, all this knowledge is make you more involved to be a better member of the society. That's it.
Thank you.
No problem. Well, it's seeming impossible, but again, you may adopt that mindset. There's nothing impossible if you are giving your best, and if you do it for the sake of for other people as well. Right. So again, this is my perspective. I also would like to remind everyone to sign the project will agreement. Right. I think you've been sent this form here, and through the Sonia management system. I'm not familiar with this, but every time we engage with the industry clients, we need to sign this up. This administration, it should be quick. It shouldn't be long. Yes, Yao.
Hello, we already signed in the Sonia, we
That's
already
good.
signed it, and
Yeah.
and we and we also upload our workplace health workplace safety result. And I have a question is about where should we be located at? Should I choose our internship?
No. This is not internship course. If you look at the course profile, there's nothing about internship. This is a project-based learning, right? So you don't need to complete that that module, that HNS module, because you're not doing any internship, right? So I don't know, that you shouldn't be getting that, right? So you just need to sign that will agreement, and that's it, right? Hope that clarifies. Yeah.
So what should we do?
Nothing. Just finish the course now.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah. All right. Okay. I'm well aware our honored guest speaker, Karen and Mark, Karen Defeni and Mark Grant has already been here to discuss about environmental sustainability at Griffith University. They both are a very good friend of mine, even though we just knew each other, right? So hopefully you see it the same way, right? So Karen and Mark both are the sustainability manager at the Griffith Sustainability in terms of realizing environmental friendly campus and how we develop the agenda of environmental sustainability throughout the university. Karen and Mark, please, I would like to invite you to speak for us, and perhaps a bit of a opening about yourself for us, please, just to get to know with the students.
Sure. Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here today. As Ganara mentioned, my name's Karen. I'm the Sustainability Manager at Griffith University. Joining me today is our Environmental Manager, my colleague, Mark Grant. Mark, did you want to say hi?
Hi, everyone. Yeah, hi, everyone. Pleasure to be here. Lovely to share some information on what we're doing here at Griffith to be sustainable.
So I do have a really quick presentation just to give you some insights about our roles in the Griffith Sustainability team and how Griffith is looking at sustainability as a whole. So let me just share my screen really quickly. All right. So first off, I'll acknowledge the traditional owners of the lands on which we're all meeting today, paying my respect to elders past and present. For me, I'm on Cubby country today, north of Brisbane. I'd like to extend my connection to the land and the waters of the very diverse landscapes that we have north Brisbane on Cubby country. So Griffith Sustainability, who are we? We're a very small team of 5 people. As you can see by our smiling faces, we're also very friendly. And so we have Jennifer Boddy, who is the Dean of Sustainability and Rankings Performance, Mark, myself, Patricia Lee, our Sustainability Project Officer, and Isabel Nishveta, our Environmental Project Officer. What do we actually do as a team within Griffith? So we work to enable Griffith's sustainability agenda. So this is done through strategy planning and implementation of plans, policies and systems based on the sustainability strategy, which I'll get to very soon. We also implement initiatives and activities to enhance communications and promote engagement across the campus. So in a couple of weeks, you'll see our smiling faces at Enviro Week, so the week of the 28th. Pop in your calendars if you're at Nathan campus on the July the 30th. We'll be around Nathan campus, and we'll also be at the other campuses that week as well. And we also support the rankings performance. So sustainability's, I guess, with all of the rankings around the world, you have all the standard university metrics. We also submit against sustainability rankings such as the Times Higher Education Impact Rankings and the QS Sustainability Rankings. And Griffith recently ranked equal 4th in the world for the Times Higher Education Impact Rankings on sustainability. So Griffith this year is 50 years old. And since the very beginning in 1975, Griffith has been a leader in environmental and conservation research. Griffith was built on the premise of social impact and environmental responsibility, and that's continued until this day. So we have leading research centres and partners in both research and practice, advancing climate action, promoting planetary health, extending and maintaining biodiversity, and also a really amazing water centre as well, which I used to be part of and I still do some research for. Griffith very recently released the new strategic plan for 2025 to 2030, and sustainability, as you can see, is across all of the parts of the strategy. So Griffith's guided by a very holistic approach and embedding its core values into every aspect of operations and its decision making. So the new strategy has some values-based challenges of that list that you can see on the screen: Indigenous flourishing, a more sustainable world, better health and well-being, inclusive, diverse and cohesive societies, and technology that improves lives. On top of that, Griffith has a sustainability strategy. I've got the QR code on the screen, so if you're really keen, you can grab the link from that. Otherwise, you can find it on our website as well. But the sustainability strategy further reflects Griffith's dedication to environmental stewardship, prioritising reducing the university's ecological footprint, promoting inclusivity and empowering the community by integrating sustainable practices into daily operations. And this also aligns Griffith with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, as Griffith strives to create a brighter future for all, as per the Griffith strategy. So what will this sustainability strategy actually achieve? So the strategy is broken down into 4 focus areas, which I'll get into a little bit more detail in a sec, because they might be of most interest to you for your group projects moving forward in this course. So the strategies looks to embed sustainability across the university through learning and teaching, highlighting our actions around procurement, so how we procure goods, even things like catering, printing services, that type of thing, how we outline our governance and reporting, and then of course our operations around climate action, water, biodiversity conservation, and waste management. So what does this look like as a whole? This is our sustainability operating framework. And as you can see, around environmental sustainability, we have a number of plans which sit under the sustainability strategy and under the environmental sustainability policy. So we have a biodiversity conservation plan, which is currently being updated at the moment. We have an integrated water management plan, which is coming very soon. We have a climate action plan, which is currently being finalised. We also have a waste management plan, which we're starting to put together now. There is also a number of guidelines and policies around responsible procurement, supply and investment. And we also have an SDG roadmap, which looks at the things that aren't operationally focused, like our academic, learning and teaching, research and engagement, key actions from the strategy. So around academic, this is looking at trying to integrate sustainability across courses. So I know the business school does an amazing job at integrating the SDGs into specific modules. A business course that I've done myself, within each module, they actually showcased what SDG was relevant for that module. So we're looking at doing more of that, and also work integrated learning opportunities and experiential learning for students. In terms of research, we're looking at the real impact of that research around sustainability. I'm going to come back to operations, governance and reporting. So we have an environmental sustainability committee, and we also have a number of reporting requirements. So we do our annual sustainability report, and we're also looking at ways that which we can showcase data live on our websites. The reason why I wanted to come back to operations was because I think this is probably what you'll be most interested in terms of opportunities for projects and problems that you may want to find some solutions for. So the operations component of our sustainability strategy is broken into those 5 priority areas: climate, biodiversity, water, waste, and procurement. Each of those have enabling frameworks, and there are a number of key actions that we're wanting to develop. Apologies if you can hear the garbage truck going past outside my house right now. It's perfect timing. On top of those operational components, we also have engagement areas around partnerships, healthy and inclusive campuses, and sustainable commuting for staff and students. So looking at getting sustainable transport campaign together of sorts to try and get more students and staff utilising public transport or carpooling options to campuses. I also just wanted to note that if you're new to sustainability, or you might want to update your learning a little bit, we do have some modules available to all students. There's a QR code there that you can scan. I've got the website, and I'll share this with Gennaro as well. They're just 2 Canvas modules. Feel free to jump in and have a play. You can update your learning. And from my understanding, a lot of students find them really useful. But that was sustainability at Griffith in a nutshell. I know you probably have lots of questions, but I'll just ask Mark, did you want to add anything that I may have glossed over?
No, I think that's great, Karen. I will just say, though, I am happy to answer questions. My area of responsibility is that operations section. So as environmental manager, I'm responsible for those areas of biodiversity conservation, climate action, waste and water management. So if you have any questions about those, I'm here to answer them.
Yeah, thank you very much, Karen and Mark. Very good presentation. Can we go to that operation slide, please? There you go. So these are the key dimensions that are being applied to realize environmental sustainability at the Griffith context, but it is widely used by universities worldwide. I think that's the framework. It is very common here. And oh, we already got a question actually. Musawasha, please.
You can finish what you were saying first.
Okay, no problem. So what we want to know here, perhaps, thank you, Musawasha. I'll get back to you after this. From all of these dimensions, which one proved to be the most challenging part here for your team?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I think for us, because of our Karen mentioned that we have a lot of environmental science and biodiversity conservation expertise. So I would say that biodiversity conservation is definitely our strongest area. Along with water management. So we're very strong academically in both the biodiversity and nature spaces, and because of that, and because of our history, we're traditionally quite good at managing our waterways on campus and our natural landscapes. Many of you if you're at Nathan campus, you'll be aware that we have a large forest reserve that we are responsible for. And so I think they're our strongest areas. The most challenging at the moment is probably our waste management and climate action. Climate action is challenging because the scenarios and the situation around the goals that we need to achieve are changing all the time. So climate change is accelerating. Standards are changing. We have net zero goals. Others they change. We set a goal, and others change their goals. So should we change in accordance with them? So it's a constantly moving space, so that's a challenge for us. Waste management is a challenge just because it's very difficult. It's reliant on behaviour change, waste management, and changing behaviours is a very difficult thing to do, which I'm sure you will learn about a lot in this course. So from my point of view, I would say that our two most challenging areas at the moment are climate action and waste management. That's not to say that we're not doing good things in those spaces. We're definitely working towards them. It's just that they're sort of a little bit behind the other two areas, the biodiversity conservation and the water management.
Okay, thank you very much, Mark. I think you mentioned that the net zero target for Griffith University is 2029, right?
Yes.
Are we able to find out what are the initiatives in order to achieve this at that time frame, please?
Yeah, of course. I'm happy to do that. I'll put some links in the chat for you as I talk,
Great.
because we have a net zero plan. We also produce annual carbon reports, and in those carbon reports, they document our trajectory. They provide data and they provide information on the initiatives that we're doing to meet that net zero goal. But just broadly, we follow a hierarchy, a emissions reduction hierarchy. So most importantly, at the top, we want to reduce our our carbon footprint. So that's the first step is to reduce how much CO2 that we emit. So to do that, we are doing things like putting solar panels on all our buildings. So if anyone has a look outside at Nathan, Logan, or Gold Coast campuses, if you can see any roofs, then chances are they've got solar panels on them. So we've just finished that solar panel project, and all our buildings now have solar panels on. But that's not enough. That delivers about 8% of our total energy needs. We're a big organization. We consume a lot of electricity. So other ways we're doing to reduce our electricity consumption is increasing the efficiency of our buildings, using sensors, highly efficient lighting equipment, that sort of thing. And the biggest consumer of electricity at Griffith is heating and cooling, so air conditioning. So we're always trying to improve the efficiency of those infrastructures. The next step down is around making sure that we're trying to purchase sustainable energy if possible. So we collect our own energy using solar panels, but then we also have an agreement with a solar farm in Queensland. So a big piece of land with huge amounts of solar panels, and so we purchase a proportion of renewable energy. So about 50% of our energy requirements come from that solar panels. And so we still have about 40% that's still from conventional energy means. And so the next step for us is to try and increase that proportion of renewable energy that we purchase. But of course, that costs more money. So to purchase renewable energy is a significant price increase on top of what the conventional coal-fired energy generated is going to cost. Other small things that we're doing across campuses is we've just replaced all our cars with electric vehicles. So anytime our staff or students, PhD students, travel between campuses, most of our cars now are energy efficient vehicles. So that, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things happening, but importantly, some of the other stuff that we are doing in the climate action space is not just physical, and it's actually around knowledge exchange and empowerment, which is exactly what courses like this are doing. And it's talking about climate change, it's talking about the impacts, it's talking about what we can do as individuals, as groups to improve the situation. And then the final piece that we're working on is around risk and resilience. So making sure that we're trying to create climate resilient campuses. So some of that involves how we look at water on our landscapes to make sure that our campuses are green and moist and cool compared to hot treeless landscapes, and looking at forecasts around weather and climate and how that's going to impact on our campuses, and making sure that we embed the known climate change risks in our risk management frameworks. So yeah, sorry, I probably talked too much, Convenor.
No, good. That's really insightful. Thank you very much. So we probably need, if we want to access data in here, we can just go through the Griffith Sustainability website, right? Is that correct?
Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of data in the reports.
Okay, that's good.
Convenor, we don't have access to the chat, so I've just sent you the chat on Teams.
Yeah, I was about to ask that.
You can chuck it in the chat if you'd like.
Thank you. I'll put that there. Oh yeah, thank you. There you go. So this is the link, copy link, and this is the link. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mark and Karen. We got this is very interesting chat here from Yonten. I do. So who is raising? Oh, Mutsawashe. Oh, so who's first? We got three hands up already. And I think Yonten, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, that's good. You raised really good question, Yonten. Would you like to ask our guest, because our guests here do not have access to chat apparently? If you want to ask them directly, that's wonderful. Thank you, Yonten.
First, I want to ask about where we can find the sustainability plans in Griffith for the actual campus. It's not about the plan on the website. It's about where I can find these sustainability tours, sustainability plans in the actual place of campus. I'm very looking forward to visit and visit and I'm very looking forward to visit and view and take some photos or maybe take some record or something else to study about sustainability. I believe you did a very forward job in the world.
Do you want me to jump in, Karen? Yeah. Okay. So we can share with you all our reports. They're all on the sustainability website. So it's griffith.edu.au/sustainability. And it's a big website. There's a lot in there. And you can see our strategy in there. You can also see, for example, we have some plans and other documents that are linked up in there. So our biodiversity conservation plan is a good one to have a look at. It's the most well developed. And in that plan, for example, you'll find specific campus by campus actions. The biodiversity one is really formulated around our Nathan campus and Gold Coast campuses because they have a large land space with a lot of bushland. So you'll find specific actions related to specific campuses in that document. The around our carbon footprint reduction, so climate action, we have annual carbon reports, which have specific information on how much each campus consumes, how much energy it consumes, all those sorts of details are in there campus by campus. For water, at the moment, we don't have a specific published integrated water management plan. It's very, very close. But we have a water page as well, and on that water page, there's a lot of information about water management, and same for waste. We don't have a waste plan at the moment, but we have really detailed websites with lots of information on what we're doing. So I'd start with our website. The other thing to note is we have annual sustainability reports. Last year was the first year that we did one. So on that homepage, on that landing page, if you scroll halfway down, there's some reports that are linked there, including the 2023 sustainability report. The 2024 sustainability report is going to be released in the next week or so. So share that one with you.
Thank you for your answering. Maybe I will try to look for them on the website and find them find all this operation equipment of sustainability in the campus. I hope so.
That's very good, Jonathan.
Yep.
Yeah, sure, please, Mark.
No, I was just going to say it's for us, it's not all about equipment. So like, for example, biodiversity conservation is more about actions rather than equipment. And the water and waste has some equipment. And so same with carbon footprint reduction, but there's probably nothing that's in particular a piece of equipment that you can go and look at. It's it's not a shiny big thing, but the best thing to, if you want to look at something, is at Nathan campus is our N78 building, our Sir Samuel Griffiths building. So it's a 6-star Green Star rated building. And if you can get it, you can have some photos online, but it's hard to see, but the whole roof and the whole front face of the building is all covered in solar panels, and it creates more than enough energy to support the building. In fact, it feeds other buildings as well. So, and it collects its own water and reuses that water in the toilets and things like that. So that's a really lovely building.
Oh, so I hope so. I'm very looking forward for this new building.
Yeah, even our new buildings in Nathan, they look green, and I'm looking forward as well, like you, Yonten. So thank you very much. That's really good. We know where to start here. A lot of different dimensions to work at, different with the NEET issue from the last conversation. But you can see here, there's a lot of different points that you can start or you can focus there. And the great part here, the data is already included in our website, in the Griffith Sustainability website, and we just need to download the report and probably start from there to explore about the issues and understand the current situation. So I look at 2 more questions. Mutsawashe, please, and Michael after that.
So my first question, which will inform my second question, does Griffith procurement, do you guys follow Queensland procurement policy?
Yeah, so the procurement team, so I guess Griffith Sustainability, we sit separate from the procurement team, but the procurement team do follow Queensland procurement rules, regulations, policy, everything like that, and they have layers on top of that. So there's guidelines that Griffith follow, including targets set around purchasing from Indigenous owned suppliers. So I think there's a goal at the moment. I think it's a Queensland government goal of 3%. It doesn't seem a lot, but that's the goal right now. Plus there's some other Queensland government goals. I can get you a link straight through to the procurement website. I think it's a internal SharePoint link, but I can grab that from the procurement team. If you're interested in looking at procurement, I'll get you that information.
Okay, so my second question is, with the new Queensland government and the current backsteps they've made to their net zero target and other environmental targets, how is that affecting Griffith University specifically? Because I know it is affecting other universities.
Yeah, thanks for the question. To be honest, it's not impacting us a huge amount because we're already going above and beyond what either party was putting forward at the last elections. So our net zero target is really quite ambitious. So it is much more advanced than any of the parties were putting forward for Queensland or for Australia. I will admit we are not the most advanced. We don't have the most advanced net zero target of any Australian universities. There's others out there that are aiming to be carbon or climate positive within the next 10 years. So we are aiming to be net zero by 2029. And importantly for our net zero target, we are aiming to be net zero with the least reliance on offsets as possible. So we are not going down the path of just saying we're going to purchase a huge amount of offsets to make us carbon neutral. So there's a difference between carbon neutrality and then net zero. So a lot of people get confused between those two concepts, but carbon neutrality is where you just purchase offsets to become neutral. But net zero is where you reduce your emissions as much as possible and then only offset a small proportion at the end that you can't possibly reduce any further to make yourself net zero. So we are going net zero. and we estimate that it'll be somewhere between maybe around 10 to 15% that we'll offset at the end of that. So it will be a small figure that we offset. And the main part that we will be offsetting is aviation-related emissions, so from staff and student travel, which as a university is really important that we get out there and travel and meet and collaborate. So we're not going to stop that, and so that's the proportion that we will offset. And just one other area around Queensland government policy and us going beyond that is around waste. So waste, Queensland government policy on single-use plastics is that they must be recyclable. We complied with that a few years ago, a couple of years ago, and now we want to be plastic free. So we don't want to just be recycled. We want to get those plastics out of campus, and reduce them as much as possible. So we're collaborating with a group called Plastic Free Places, and working with our cafes and vendors. We've just started that, so give us some time. It is a slow process, and it requires the support of the consumer as well as the cafes. So we want students and staff to really push it. So we want them to use their voice and say, I want something plastic free, and I want to use my keep cup, and I want to take my container and get it filled up. We are doing our best, but we can't do everything without staff and student support. So yeah, I think it's a really great question, and I think though it doesn't impact us too much. We do follow it. I do follow it definitely, but I think we're ahead of the curve.
That's good. That's good. Very good. Thank you very much, Mark. I'm well aware about the time here, but there's so many interests, which is good. I can go with Michael and then Lysis next, and then hopefully if we have time, Yonten, I'll ask you a question, which is very interesting, Yonten. Of course, let's go, Michael.
Hi, Karen. Hi, Mark. Thank you for sharing all the informations. So I think Mark have mentioned a little bit earlier regarding to the new buildings that has been following the sustainable practice by having solar panels bolting onto them. So one of my question is, obviously, when we're looking at Griffith University with all the campuses, we're looking at 5 to 10 years in the future. And obviously, when our campus is getting old, we wanted to revamp, we wanted to refurbish our classrooms and our buildings, especially we're looking at Gold Coast campus. Some of our classroom is getting older. So eventually, as the university is going to expand, we're going to have perhaps better buildings. Have the school consider about using more like recycled material or environmental friendly material in the construction to create less impacts to the nearby environment, since eventually if we after maybe 5 to 10 years we decide to break this building down again and then we wanted to reconstruct something again, so at least those material will not become a burden to the school, how we sort out these leftover materials. And second to that is that obviously with the improvement of technologies, our technology device from the school is going to get upgraded. And what is the school actions on how to sort out all the old gadgets? We're talking about computers, laptops, printers, and all these things. Are we having a plan to give them to someone else, or is there a recycle process, and how we're looking on how to better to recycle on this process?
Yeah, great questions,
that's
Michael.
really good.
Like sustainable buildings, and considering the energy and the materials that go into building is something that we do think about. We don't actually build new buildings that often, to tell the truth. They're very expensive, and so I think the main way that we try to improve buildings is through renovations, but we have built some new buildings recently, and we hope to build another big one at Nathan soon. And in my opinion, we could do a little bit more to think about those sorts of materials that go into it and end of life cycle. But I think that we are doing a reasonable job at that at the moment. Always with these things, there's the cost benefit analysis that comes into play and the financials at play here. We are in an environment where funding is tight for Griffith and funding is tight for all Australian universities. So there's a political situation around that. So yeah, the finances are a really important part about buildings. One of the things that I will say about what we're trying to do with buildings is, so I mentioned building efficiency. So we're trying to improve the building efficiency of existing buildings, but we're also trying to work out how we can use our buildings more efficiently in terms of occupation. So I mentioned that air conditioning costs us a huge amount of money and also carbon emissions. But so we're trying to work out how we can effectively use the buildings and have the right amount of buildings for the right amount of people. So we don't have whole buildings running air conditioning all day with 10 people in them. So, there's a lot of thinking about space management at the moment, and maybe some of you have heard about the relocation of or the closure of our Mount Gravatt campus and moving people across to Nathan. So that's definitely part of that. And then on the e-waste stuff, electronic waste, the e-waste stuff, we do have e-waste collection stations at Gold Coast and Nathan and Logan campuses. And we work with a social enterprise that takes that waste and recycles as much as possible, or even in some cases repairs it and finds new homes for that equipment. But I mean, Karen mentioned procurement. Part of the procurement piece is that we really want to encourage people to reduce the consumption in the first place. So if we can reduce consumption, then we're reducing waste, and then we will deal with it as best as we can. But that's also about education, right? I mean, a lot of people still throw that sort of stuff in the regular bins. So we need to educate people that you can't just throw that in the regular bins. Thanks for your questions.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I'll just add quickly. We also have Ganara. I've just flicked you a few more links if you'd like. We also have a system that's we've started using called Warp It. And that's mainly for office furniture. So in the closure of the Mount Gravatt campus, a lot of the furniture and office equipment over at Mount Gravatt was loaded onto the system called Warp It. And say, for example, even in Mark and my office, if we had a table or something like that we no longer needed or wanted to use, rather than getting our operations team to dispose of it, we'd take a photo of it, pop it on Warp It, and other staff members and students across the campus could have a look and say, oh, actually, that's something that we're looking for. We'll take that. And it's kind of like organize a transfer, come pick it up. So rather than someone purchasing something new, you're first having a look to see what's already available in the network and what people are no longer using. So that's Warp It system. I've sent Ganaro a where to put your waste website, and that's listed under the office furniture section. The other link that I sent to Ganaro was the campus development website, and as part of that website, there's some design guidelines and that type of thing too.
Thank you, Karen, Mark, and Michael. I'm just aware of the time here, Lysis. Short question perhaps, and then perhaps we can revisit Yontan question there. Yes, Lysis.
Is a long question, so you can just move on. I'm just gonna ask them another time, so that's all right.
But what is it? You made me curious now. No, you can get away with this. Sorry, just kidding. Yeah, please.
It's a little bit. It's not. I just want to ask because, like, I just read a recent. I would just want to, because you guys are like the environmental sustainability kind of like specialized people, right? So I just want to ask. I just want to comment on one of the articles I've just read recently, where people say apparently the projected temperatures and stuff. They say that essentially it's like too late for us to really cap the 4 Celsius temperature at 50 in 50 years, or like the 1.5 Celsius something in a few years. So essentially they're saying like all the goals that the world have rejected for us for the whole thing with the rainbow thing where you do the sustainability essentially is too late. What do you have any comments about that? And I want to know what, like, this is a focus, this kind of focus operation is like on our university, right? But through this like whole operation, do you guys have any hope or like inspiration? Like, is there any hope that you guys can kind of inspire the whole community around it as well?
Yeah, great questions. I think realistically, yeah, 1.5 is we're there. Like it's that's going to happen. I don't think we can avoid 1.5 degrees above baseline, but I think that like we can reach we can beat the other targets. So I think we can limit global warming to that 1.5. And I think that we owe our next generations, our children, our grandchildren, that we should aim to do that. I mean, I don't see why we should just give up now. It doesn't make sense. There's so much momentum in this space. I mean, if you look back and think of the acceptance around climate change at the moment. I mean, you've got a few outliers, like you look at Trump and things who's going backwards, but generally the acceptance of progress on climate action worldwide has increased dramatically in the last 5 to 10 years. And so there's really good momentum on this. So yeah, look, I'm super positive about it. I'm super positive. There's a heap of different stories out there around environmental achievements. I mean, research. Look up whale populations around the world. I mean, that's one obvious example. So yeah, I'll pass over to Karen because I do have to run now. I've got another meeting, but Karen might be able to share some more. Thanks everyone. Good luck with your projects.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for your help today.
Yontan, actually, me and so we got a question, Karen. If you have 3 minutes, perhaps, from Yontan here. I heard Griffith is going to levy carbon prices on those who are frequently traveling abroad. And this is what me and Mark discussed before last year. So he asked the question now, and Mark is already gone. Do you have anything to say here, Karen? What's the plan with this?
Yeah, I believe there is some work happening around internal carbon pricing and working out a calculator. We've had a work integrated learning student do a lot of work with us in the last couple of trimesters around carbon accounting and carbon pricing. And I think especially Griffith Business School is really interested in, making sure that when we are going on trips that we are being accounted for. And yeah, so I think it's a watch this space kind of thing because there is work being done around it. It's just there's a number of different ways and there's also a number of different calculators out there that different groups are using. What's the right calculator for us to make sure that we're not underestimating or also overestimating? So we're just trying to work out what's the most suitable. I think Ganara, is it Martin Burker? Is that from Griffith Business School? I think Martin's the one that's been working on it.
Yeah, so me, Martin, the Dean of Academic, we had this conversation before. So we put a quota for this triathlon, which is scope emission. And if they exceed quota, they need to pay the fine, and then the fine can be used for budget, for research, for anything, right? So yeah, that's like you said, Karen, is watch the space there, right? But yeah, it's gonna be troublesome to apply. And yeah, I think everyone, let's thank Karen here for the time. We already said 2 minutes, and then we can have a bit more, probably 15 minutes Q&A with just you and me here to discuss about the assessment. So Karen, thank you very much again for your time, and Mark as well. Very good, and I think it's clear where can we get the data and the spaces that we are working for environmental sustainability in university context. So we thank you very much for your time and for your guidance. Thank you very much. Karen.
No worries at all. And please don't hesitate to reach out to Mark or myself. We're very happy to chat further.
All right. Thank you very much, Karen.
See you later.
Thank you very much, and sorry for late for 1 hour. because of IT
Sorry?
problem. Sorry for I
Oh,
late
yeah,
for 1 hour because of IT problem.
yeah, no problem. Thank you. Yao. So, you know what? I'm visiting from it's happening with my computer here. From Mutawashe, you have to battle with climate denial. You know, Mutawashe, a lot of world leaders are climate denial. So it's not just an issue in Griffith or an issue in our community, but in the world, right? I'll discuss about this, okay, in Gold Coast. Remember, next week is in the Gold Coast session on Thursday. But at this right here, see difference between the cases. The first is all about dialogue. It's all about broad issue, macro issues, and both, however, need you to do on research. And this is what this course is all about, applied research. Right? We got the issue, we got the problems, we got the issue, we got the frameworks for you to utilize. And what you need to do now is make connection with the literature to enhance your knowledge. This is how we improve your knowledge and your awareness about what's happening with the world these days. Right? It's far more grave than we look. Right? It's time for us, and you are the next generations, and for the coming generation alpha and beta, it's going to be more difficult, right? We're talking about eco-anxiety, right? That's where people feel the number of anxiety is growing far, even for our next generations. We're talking about mental health, right? How do you live knowing that the world is going to be ending, right? That's eco-anxiety, and that's a big issue these days, right? For the future critical. But let's discuss about this starting from next week, right? And again, I promise you, thank you, Lysis, for turning on your camera. Appreciate it. This course is about applied research. It's about real life crisis. With this real life crisis, we will even discuss about poverty, about inequality, about bullying, all of those stuff, right? A lot of things to discuss in social aspect, but also the environmental aspects. So what I promise you, you're gonna have to be exposed with a lot of this, and every time there's gonna be a lot of group activities during the workshop, right? So again, guys, that's it, and I'm again very well. I'm just giving it up for everyone here. My round of applause for everyone, because you guys asking the right questions. That's a good start, right? How your understanding about an issue is measured not from the solutions, but what question do you ask, right? And I'm very, very intrigued with a lot of questions that you asked this today, right? It's really interesting. It's really the one that can keep us going here, that keep us hoping for the solutions. Well, there's always hope, right? And for us, the next leaders, we need to create that hope. Otherwise, you're not really a leader, isn't it? Right? But again, here, I think that's all for today. It's quite a lot of things to take. I'm afraid if we proceed more than this, it's gonna impacting our physical well-being and mental health. So because we discussed a lot of key points there. Yes, Musawashe?
So Gunnar, you know how Paul said you will compile questions and take it to him for us?
For Paul?
Yeah.
Yes, of course. Yeah,
so-
send it to my email. Yeah.
So you know how the sustainability people, they had a PowerPoint slide, the operations slide that showed the key points they are focusing on?
Yep.
Would it be possible to see if Paul has something similar?
Not really, because again, when it comes to NEET, we're looking at the macro picture, right? But here on the environmental sustainability, we got that framework that has already been applied by the Griffith team. So environmental is very rigid, is very the dimensions are clear. But NEET is a growing issue. If you notice about NEET, right, it's quite relatively a new term, right? And therefore,
Yeah.
that's why we decide to do this using the dialogue, because it's hard and it's a growing issue, and you can get the data easily from the Queensland government, or just Google your way through it, or use AI, right? So use AI effectively here to get the initial ideas. But don't forget, AI is there to provide you with the information. But when it comes to problem solving, it's up to you, right? It's up to you how to think, use your brain and paradigms, combine this and come up with these solutions, right? So again, we still have 6 more meetings, and I promise you, right? You saw the review already of this course, 5.0, 4.5, 4.8, something like that. And that's my promise to you. I'll be very responsive to you, right? And then, yeah, reach me out anytime. And except after 5 p.m., right? You know, when you send email, you have the schedule send. Use that for me and send it the next day. Don't send me 9 p.m., 7 p.m., right? Be considerate of others, right? That's the start of being a good leader. Be considerate of others. Okay?
All right, that
And
makes sense.
yeah,
Thank you.
thank you, Musawashe. Mariana, please.
I'm focusing on the NEET topic, and I was wondering, do you think it'd be best if maybe we gave an overview of the issue itself and then we focused on a specific demographic group, like maybe
Definitely.
based on age or based on maybe ethnicity? Because what I found interesting is the parents' impact on the NEET issue. So we could explore different cultures, how different cultures
Yes.
are facing this issue, because I do believe that culture has a big impact on
Oh,
whether
definitely.
the NEET issue is can be solved or not, or how it can be approached.
Definitely, Mariana. Good point. The good start point there. Culture, culture determine values and everything, right? So that's a good start, right? And again, here, I'm not a strict convener. As long as you can justify, so be it, right? Where you want to start from, that's it. This is social science. It's not like a STEM, right? It's where it's rigid. This is here 1 + 1 = 2, but this is social science. The results is sometimes hard to predict. That's why we create a theory. That's why we create all of these frameworks just to help us predict the outcome, right? And alleviate the issues, right? The parent family thing made me so sad. I know, Musawashi, I know. I felt that too. I mean, how can you, as a parent, tell your kids not to work and just rely on this, on that employment benefit? Oh my God. Lysis, yes.
So oh wait, I forgot what I'm about to say. I'm so sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. I mean, there's a lot to take today, right? So I think it's time for us to probably, you know, you can always contact me, Lysis, or post on the Teams or whatever it's, right? So this course is all about you. It's all about making you a great leader, a better better member of society, right? Please, and I'm saying this to a lot of my students, right? Don't of course job is important, but don't make it your end goals, right? In my experience, if you getting familiar with all of the crisis, what people need, and you're able to provide that, job will come to you, right? By itself, right? And that's very important, right? So again, make sure you're familiar. And this society is about give and take, right? You know, you can give them, and you know, in order you take them back from in the sense here from the salary and such, right? So a lot of things. All right. Okay. Lysis, you hands up again.
Yeah, I remember what I want to say now.
Yeah, sure.
So for this whole thing, it's a research thing, right? So would you want us to only do like second sources, or would you want primary sources as well? As in, like, do
That's the
you
limitation.
expect us
Yeah.
to have like
Yeah.
surveys and interviews and that kind of thing? Or
Okay.
would just like secondary sources where we look up like numbers and stuff online and write
Yeah.
through
Yeah.
that? Would that be okay?
Good question. Good question. Thank you. Now that's a limitation. If we want you to do interview and survey, you need an ethics, right? And that's not possible. Therefore, that's why we include the mentors and also the industry client, just to make it easier for you for you to validate your ideas, right? Therefore, secondary data is fine, but when it comes to primary data, you know, interviewing the mentors and having a chat with the industry client. That should be enough. In the assessment, you can on the part of the feedback analysis, you can just say, we got this feedback, the feedback that we get here, and using quotation marks and such, and then you analyze this feedback from you, right? So that's really good, Lysis. Thank you. So again, I'm not asking you to. Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, you
Yeah.
keep going.
I'm not asking you to develop a rocket for this, but follow the theory of change prompt, which is I think gonna be beneficial for you later when you work. You apply this to execute change. So yeah, and that's it.
Oh, and also for the second assessment with the presentation and stuff, that's also like part of the whole research thing, and then we gonna
Yeah.
present that, right?
Yeah.
For the it's a
Speeching.
record presentation, so it's a video. Would you expect us? I'm reading the whole thing right now. Would you expect us to do it like a set type of way where it's easy for you to mark, or would you expect us to have some kind of like creativity in making the video?
Creativity is always important. If you can integrate your creativity and fulfill the marking criteria and rubric, that's it, right? You hit the spot, right? So make it very interesting. Make it something that you want to post it later on your LinkedIn, something like that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, everyone, you guys are awesome. I'm very happy to have this cohort here. Very critical, very enthusiastic, and yes, this is a very good opening today. I hope you enjoy, and I look forward to see you. Remember, next week in the Gold Coast, so no class in Nathan and online, only in the Gold Coast. The week after, we got the class only for online and Nathan. So pay attention to the schedule, and I look forward to see you next week. All right, in the Gold Coast, right? Okay, have fun. Thank you very much, and round of applause for everyone.
Thank you for
You guys are awesome. Thank
today.
you. Thank you.
See you
And I'm
soon.
not Jiraiya, I'm Itachi, okay? Cheating. Bye.